information will allow us to learn how to harness the power of AI, XR, and effectively use tech innovations to improve your marketing game. So I hope you're ready to welcome Domas Janickas, co-founder of Addon, founding member of Artificial Intelligence Association of Lithuania. The mic is yours.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me well?
Yes.
Am I holding it correctly? Yeah. Move it a little bit, maybe. All right. So we are currently at a phase where we're facing the really interesting point in the evolution of software. Some of you might remember how it started with the punch cards, and then some of you might have used the command lines, and then later on something like Windows 95, and then it started with the touch screens and moved on to natural language. And there's the saying that English is now the most popular programming language in general, that we're able to create software prompting like we talk every day, and that this is a new era of software development and creating software solutions in general. And there have been a lot of buzzwords recently. Like over the past 10 years, we were facing every startup being a big data startup, and then everyone was into blockchain, and then, well, the beginning of this AI trend, which slowed down a little bit, and then all the meta things, and now everything is about generative AI. I'll try to say ChatGPT and then Midjourney today as few times as possible, and mention more other things. But let's start with agreeing on what artificial intelligence is in general. So there's a definition of intelligence being goal-directed adaptive behavior, meaning that a person or a system doing something must be able to adapt in real time. And if we say that artificial intelligence should be able to follow a goal and adapt all the time, we would then decide that probably most of the software that we are using is not actually AI, not able to adapt, which is why I argue a lot with my fellow engineers, because now AI is probably more of a marketing term rather than engineering term, and that's all right. There are a lot of fears around AI being used at work, at school, everywhere else, but it's not new to us as a society. There have been fears in the past. So handheld calculator was not allowed in classrooms and universities for a while, because everyone was thinking that it will make us dumber. And now we are, of course, all using that. And when Photoshop was released in 1990s, there was a fear that it will be less creative from now on. That the painters will suffer and whatnot, and it became a tool. So I tend to believe that we are able to use all the inventions to our own good and make use of them, and that they will not take all of our jobs, but rather will make us adapt to the new reality and be able to use those tools. When it comes to the tools, it's now frankly difficult to keep up with it, even for us in the software industry. Keeping up with the new tools, especially AI tools, being released not on a weekly basis anymore, on a daily basis. If you subscribe to quite a few newsletters, you will understand that there are new solutions being released all the time, and it's impossible to keep up. It's everything, right? From managing newsletters to automating social media to analytics. To CRMs and whatnot. And that market is estimated to be around $20 billion now. Most of the companies use it. It's estimated that 40% not use it fully. So like a significant portion of features left not being used. But it's amazing. And of course, an important part of the marketing technology landscape are AI technologies. Keep struggling with the pointer. And when it comes to AI marketing, of course, we all want to increase conversions, increase ROI, become more productive, test new ideas quicker, be more accurate, reach the right audience, do our own research in a more accurate way, and be able to prove our point to board of investors. So those are the general goals that we use it for. And we'll get back to AI, but another trend that's coming with AI solutions is no-code. So no-code software is like tools that enable you to create everything from landing page to a quiz, to a workflow automation, or even data analysis tools yourself. It's basically software engineers cutting the grass that they're sitting on and then building solutions that make their roles less needed to a certain point. No-code solutions enable various companies, including marketing teams, to test their ideas quicker, to build MVPs without relying on an IT team, waiting in a queue for features to be built. Enables to automate data processing quicker, and it's estimated that 70% of enterprise apps in general will have some part of low-code or no-code solutions by 2025. And most of them, anyway, will be built with no-code in mind. And what that means to everyone in the industry, or any company in general, but for marketers as well, is gaining a skill of utilizing those technologies to be really quick and innovative yourself without relying on a large team. Here's the no-code age. I'll just move this because whatever. So yeah, of course, getting back to the AI, data analytics became quicker, which is even more important with Google shutting down cookies by the end of next year-ish. The need to collect consumer data yourself via forms or other ways, which might be beneficial for the organizations with significant amounts of users and significant amounts of data. However, challenging for the SMEs that are not able to collect vast amounts of data around their users. Another aspect trending now is the combination of all, which is a digital twin of a consumer. And you might have heard of digital twins of like factories or machines that allow you to play out various scenarios and understand what would be happening in that scenario. And we can now do the same with a consumer in the marketing world. And one of the biggest ad groups in the world, WPP, is betting a lot on that. So creating solutions that would enable you to understand how your particular customer will perceive the message that you have created, what they will feel, and even enabling that to be brand-oriented, so customized for each brand, and being really sure that your content that you're producing will resonate well with your target audience. There comes segmentation, of course, but not the one like in the good old days when it was just location, age, and then gender. There's the ability to compile data from different sources and to collect more information about the actual behavior of a user. Understanding the browsing behavior, there's different patterns, messages that are being sent, and profiling the consumer in different ways that would allow you to create hyper-personalization for your customers. Hyper-personalization being custom-tailored message for the particular user, how they prioritize certain features of a product, for example, or adjusting the message based on the time of the day, or maybe they're drunk shopping and you want to highlight some other aspects of the product, based on the time, etc. So it's like a whole different field, which is needed because the attention span is as we all know, going down for everyone, not just Gen Z, but everyone, and then it means that people are skipping ads more. So you need to be more accurate than ever. Which brings us to the customer journey mapping. So being able to create more personalized and better adjusted experiences, understanding every touch point that the user will have with your software or your funnel, or even in omnichannel scenarios, and understanding how each interaction drives the user towards certain action, be it sign up or clicking a link or the actual purchase. And sometimes not necessarily relying on understanding who the user is, but what are the circumstances in that location, on that day, in that part of the world, and so on. I'm certain that there will be more about virtual influencers later today. So I'll briefly mention that, of course, being video first is now a trend. And creating your own avatar for your brand allows you to meet the expectations of your target audience better. It allows you to create content with a lower cost, and also enables you to mitigate a lot of the risks that you would have with the usual influencers. And I'm sure that there will be examples about how a lot of the companies are already utilizing that, and what the estimates are about the usage of it in a few next years. And of course, using the mentioned tools for when strategizing. So being able to map out different scenarios, understanding the trends, analyzing what's happening in real time and being able to adjust it. So being reactive to what's happening today rather than just checking quarterly reports and react to that later. And I'm a bit of a skeptic around metaverse, to be honest. Maybe I'm getting old. But there is the new generation coming, the generation alpha, everyone born later than 2010. They are becoming the consumers, the spenders. And we probably all need to appreciate that even with the unfortunate start of metaverse for Facebook, but with a low number of users, this will be a trend because it's tailored to the new generation, which is trying it out in gaming, especially. Gaming being the first touch point in metaverse, and a lot of companies are already trying out ads in the metaverse space. But we need to remember that it's not just the VR, so not just the virtual worlds, but the augmented as well. And I'm actually a believer in the augmented reality solutions being used everywhere, not just in the ad space. And of course, we've all seen what Apple is going to produce. Sony has something in production as well. So with new devices, there will be more interest from developers. And with more interest from developers, game developers especially, we might see a new shift here.
It's not on your sign. There we go.
Cool. Okay. So, getting back to the very beginning, we are at a time now where anyone can automate anything. It's because of the rise of the no-code solutions. It's because of the GPT tools, of image generation, video generation as well. And we must appreciate that if anyone or everyone can generate everything, we probably should as well. Otherwise, it likely means that someone is leapfrogging and then getting way ahead and winning in the competition. And I appreciate that it might require additional budgets now, or that it might take time, or there might be fears about these solutions being used everywhere, but also in the marketing area. The tools being available to everyone. Just if you are not using it, you're missing out. If you're not gaining skills to use it yourself, you might be missing out and be less relevant in the job industry. Digital twins are becoming more and more popular in the manufacturing, but this is the new trend. So creating twins of your customers might be, once again, a challenge for SMEs now. It might sound like so many things happening, but we're too small, or we do not have enough data, and it's not for us. But the new solutions being launched on a weekly basis, it's likely that there will be one launched just for you in the near future, or it might be that startup idea for a small marketing agency to do one just for them. There was the trend of big data, right? And now it's not about big data. There's huge amounts of data available, especially in large organizations. Now it's about creating a layer on top of that data let's call it big ops, and it means the apps and various touch points that interact with the data collected. And of course, the shift in the culture when it comes to our target audiences, culture when it comes to our colleagues and clients, what their expectations are, how quickly they now expect you to answer, or how accurate they want the description to be, or how relatable they want the virtual influencer to feel for them. All of that is the new era of new expectations. And while that might sound overwhelming, it certainly does sound overwhelming to me from time to time. We need to surf the wave of these solutions being available for us. Even though it might be difficult to try each and every one of them, or to make the shift from one to another, or it might be tempting to try every one of them and then there's not enough time for that ever. But being able to quantify the expected value, be it the AI solution or some different tool that you want to implement, so not just the ROI or increasing the conversions, other KPIs as well. Of course, brand image value is maybe a bit more complicated to measure, but doing that will enable you to prove your point to your peers or directors when it comes to the need, or clients as well, when it comes to the need of investing into something. It's about being patient, because some of the AI tools that we'll start using will not be as efficient on a day one that you would want. It might take time, or a lot of time, for them to train. So you have to be patient, but also consider what you are expecting in the long term. So some of the tools or some of the solutions might enable you to have short-term gains, but you must have privacy and ethics in mind as well. For example, it might be tempting to push the price up for certain users if you know that they're buying for sure, but if they find out what impact that will have on your brand, maybe the different angle on the same usage of software would be better, where you slightly decrease the pricing for those who just need the nudge to make the purchase, and then hopefully that's a bit better. So yeah, I guess that's it for me. I invite you to follow me on social media, Domas Janickas, if you want to hear more things about AI, and if you're curious about learning stuff, it's domas@elon.lt. I would be happy to tell you more.
All right, let's give it up for Domas. Domas, please don't rush, don't run away, because we have the Q&A. If anybody has some questions to Domas, okay? One.
Sorry, I forgot the.
It's okay, it's okay.
So which,
Put it on, like up.
is it working? Yeah. So which trend you are most excited about? personally?
Hyper-personalization. I think I love ads, right? But I love the ads that I love, and I hate all the other ads. So I'm clearly eager to see stuff that I would either enjoy consuming or stuff offered to me that I was already planning to buy, right? So not seeing irrelevant content is my dream. Yeah.
So do you agree sharing your data for the purpose of hyper-personalization?
Yeah, I think I had to share my data without agreeing for the last 10 or more years, so I'm okay with doing that. But of course, there's a red line somewhere. Good questions.
There is a question here.
Radulans has raised a few on LinkedIn already.
Sorry, Domas. My question is, all the antagonists have some protagonists. What do you think is going to be the opposite for some of the brands? Do you think we'll have the new age of pure emotional and non-techy brands created just because to be the opposite of the wave?
There is always space for contrarians, right? So, especially for the small brands or smaller teams, it might make sense to go fully analog, or maybe not fully, right? But make that their unique point of view, and then that might be trending in some niche. But then it's probably a question of what's right for your brand. If your brand is something that can live in this semi-analog mode, it's all right? You're setting the local market or whatever. But if it's like global, sorry, you just can't do that. Or if you want to extend it, unless of course you can rinse and repeat the same analog process in each country. So,
All right, I think that's it for now. Thank you so much, Domas, again.